Okay, so Dave, my first question is, has it sunk in all of the head coachness and everything that you're having to do? I know you're familiar, obviously, with USL League One, but in the Greenville sphere of things, and you're getting ready for a season, has it all sunk in that, oh, I'm 5 weeks away from a season right now?
It's starting to, that's for sure. It's coming fast, but it's been exciting. It's been a ton of work from the day I got hired until to this point. We're a week and a couple days into preseason and just getting everything organized and get the roster built and all of those fun things. But man, it feels really good to be out on the field and finally get to see the guys together and start to form the group and who we can be. So starting to sink in, though. Like every day that creeps by, you go, uh-oh, that's getting closer. So
when you looked at this opportunity, what was it about Greenville that you're like, yeah, I think I can do something here?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things, to be honest. It's a club that, one of the founders of the league. It's a club that had a great history. I mean, both John and Rick have did a great job of building a really good foundation of a team that could be really competitive and win championships in the past. And obviously coming online with the stadium and having our own stadium, I just felt like it was an opportunity to stay in the Southeast, to be in a club that could compete for championships and had a ton of excitement around it. So recruiting would be easier. All of those things have been, real bonuses for it. So great leadership. I've really enjoyed working with Zach Prince. Zach has been great. It's the alignment has to be there, right, between sporting director and coach, and how you see, not only how the group's going to play, but how you form the roster, type of characters you want in here. And man, it's just been a real pleasure to work with him, to work with everyone around the office. There's just a really good buzz around the Greenville Triumph and in the office. Every day I go in from our training facility to the office, it's just asking about the next new player and who's coming in next, who's going to be the next announcement. And that's really fun to be around because it just gives you energy. And that's the one kind of thing I would describe it right now is just such great positive energy around the club.
So do you have the index card that has the Greenville Triumph logo on the one side and the answers on the other side with the questions that everybody keeps asking? Yes, we are still recruiting players. Yes, we are looking for this kind of individual. Are you handing those out at the BILO these days?
Yeah, we need to. We need to because everyone's excited. I mean, everyone, their first question in the public, I've been stopped by a couple of people that with my the sweatshirt on, and they ask about the stadium. When's the stadium going to be done? When's this going to be done with this? And so they're really excited about that, having a permanent home. But everyone is very excited about the group that we brought back, and as we kind of layer out these new signings, it's just continued energy. So yeah, I mean, it's a fun place to be, and the guys that we're bringing in, it's been a really, really good mix with the veteran presence that we kept from the previous season.
You have been in the Southeast. You've seen it grow a bunch of different places, whether we're talking Charlotte, they're now in Greenville, the time that you had in Mississippi with Berea. When you look at how the Southeast, everybody's been sitting there saying, oh, I don't know about the Southeast and soccer over like the last decade or so. It's like, oh, I don't know, can the Southeast handle soccer? And you've been in places where with Berea, it literally was lightning in a bottle. You get a good team out there, and you know what's going to happen in League Two, and they're going to be right there with it the entire time. You see how it grows in big cities like Charlotte and Greenville. What's it been like for you to see this upward progression of the sport in a place where everybody in the Southeast knew, no one else did, but what's it been like for you to sit there and go, see?
Yeah, no, it's extremely exciting. I've had the privilege of working in the youth game in the Southeast. I've worked at the amateur level, now the professional level as well. And all of those levels, you just see tremendous growth and talent, right? There's a ton of talent. And I mean, hopefully that's one of the things that Zach and I are excited about is how do we dig into the talented young players in the Southeast region? There's lots of great options, but can we be another quick option for players as well? So it's exciting to see not only the growth in the professional game, because that's just crazy. This growth, the USL's growth the last year and a half, 2 years, it's just been crazy. But then to just see the amount of fans at games, to see the excitement. I mean, in Charlotte, in Atlanta, in Greenville. You're just driving around, you see crests, you see jerseys, you see all of those different things that, I mean, when I first got to Berea in Mississippi, so that was Ole Miss and Mississippi State jerseys and those types of things. But you start to see, like, you just see the transformation of fandom, right? Of just people that are just excited about the game. And you start to see people chatting about the game, but not just the global game, like the local game as well. And for me, that's exciting. And it just trickles down, right? And then you're hoping that the youth game keeps growing. There's so many great clubs in the state of South Carolina. Right here, we train at the same place at CISA. I mean, there are so many great clubs in the Southeast that are producing players that can play at this level and beyond. And so we have to figure out our way. What's Greenville's way of tapping into that to that potential and into that pool, and how do we add to it as well? I think that we have a responsibility as a professional club to how do we add to the landscape of the game. And I just have been really impressed by our front office and our willingness to get into the community and to try to connect the community to our club, to the game in general. So lots of exciting things, obviously, with the World Cup coming up too. Like it's just going to explode again.
So when you go into this situation with the Triumph and you head into this season in USL League One, what are you the most confident about going in? And what do you think are those things that are those, I'm not going to say most concerned about, because, there's always a level of confidence there, but those things that you still think you have to tackle, so those things that are concerns can turn into those things that you are confident about. It's a reinforcing of behavior. Where do you think you are when it comes to the good and the bad right now?
Yeah, great question. For me, I feel like confidence in the group that we've assembled, the character, the energy, the work rate. We've been on the field. We got a little bit of a ice out the other day, but we've been on the field basically 7 days. And the energy level, it just feels like it just keeps rising. And I love that. I love groups that play with energy, that play with passion, that just compete every day and every moment. So I'm extremely confident in our level to maintain that, to compete, to be a team that's really difficult to beat. Obviously the things that you're trying to figure out is we have 50% of a new roster, 50, 60% new roster. How are we meshing that influx of new players with a very seasoned and also Greenville seasoned experienced team, right? So that's been really fun to watch, kind of that dynamic grow together, where we're seeing some of the born leaders from the past in here, Brandon Fricky and Evan Lee and Tyler Polak and Chapa and those guys that have been here a while, like see them lead, also leading the new guys, but then seeing some of the new guys kind of rise to the occasion and be a leader as well. So just you want to continue to blend that together, continue to make that the best version of itself as a whole we can be. And, cliche wise, we talk about we is greater than me here a lot when we're in our meetings. And that I wholeheartedly believe in that. And the culture that we create, it's going to be hard to outperform it. So we want to create a culture where we value the work, we value competing, we value each other. And that's been really good. And then it's just like, look, everyone's in the same point right now. They're trying to figure out how we're going to score goals. Right? We have this player that can do it and this player, but collectively, how do we score goals? So that's the last thing that normally comes in the process. That cohesion in the final third. But like today, we just got off the field. And today's session was just a massive step forward in just the cohesion of watching the interaction of the connection point between two players that are playing in similar sectors of the field. So, today was exciting. I walked off the field today and I was like, man, we took a huge step forward today in who we can be ultimately. We're not there yet, but who we can be ultimately when we kick off there in March.
Do you have the T-shirt that has the 98 font we and like the 12 font me working around?
Yeah, that's what we need one of those. We got some stuff that we're putting up on the walls here. We're transforming the workspace here to kind of help build the culture that we want. And Zach's doing a great job of doing that inside our front office and into our sporting side, and bringing the cohesion together. And that's something that's really exciting as well. Like where everyone feels ownership of this thing. Like every time we step on the field, whether you sell tickets, whether you're doing marketing, whether you're the best player on the field that day, like everyone wants to win for the team and the club and community.
how would you describe yourself stylistically? And if you want to use the word holistically, you can. But I mean, when it comes to you and your coaching DNA, what kind of a product are you looking for, and what kind of output are you looking for from the players to get what you're looking for out there on the field?
Yeah. I mean, I think that for me, from a stylistic perspective and what my expectations are of the group, like we want to be really aggressive. I love attacking. Like I was a goalkeeper, which is crazy, but I love attacking football, and I want to make sure that we can try to control the game. We want to control the game with the ball. We want to control the game with the tempo. We want to control space. I'm a little bit greedy that way. I want to try to figure out in each phase of the game how can we do that. So we want to be very front-footed and aggressive. So we've been really, this week has been a lot about how do we get that mindset to where when we have the ball, we're aggressive to go forward. When we don't have the ball, we're aggressive because we want to attack again. We're very selfish. We want the ball again. So just trying to get the mindset shift there a little bit, like increasing the pace of play, those types of things. And the way I describe it to the guys is I want us to invite other teams into our chaos. We control it, but we invite them into our chaos and make them play at an uncomfortable pace, rhythm, speed. But we're used to it because it is our DNA, like you described. It's what we do every day and work on ourselves every day.
How do you, when it comes to this chaos that you want to have, how do you have the players themselves understand that I want you to go right up to the edge when it comes to the chaos itself, so it's still a positive but doesn't turn into a negative in a transition opportunity or a turnover? How do you balance that ledge when it comes to chaos?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. And I think that's the fine line, right? That's where you're always flirting with that line too. So to me, it's every day in training. You start with it. So today in an exercise that we did, it was all about trying to control the space and trying to get guys to be really aggressive, but also over their back shoulder, they understand that, like, if we lose the ball here, I have to be ready to run. I have to be ready to recover into those areas so that we can eliminate issues and problems. What we try to talk about is we want to control where we lose the ball, right? Not the other team. We don't want them to defend us and they control where we lose it. So we're willing to take risk in smaller areas and tighter areas so that we can be more compact and we can then impact the game really quickly from those standpoints. But you have to get your players into a mindset where the fear of failure is gone, right? So we're going to fail. We're going to make mistakes with the ball. We're going to do things that we get broken, and there's broken moments of the game. But if we're always training on the edge and training in those moments, then when those moments pop up in the game, we should have solutions. We should have ideas. We should have a calmness to us in those moments, because that's how we train every day. And I think you have to make sure that you're always working on yourself in those moments.
So then how do you get them to get past that fear of either failure or not wanting to make a mistake? How hard of a challenge is that?
For me, it's a hard challenge, but it's also like you just have to talk about it every day. You can't let the fear of failure be this thing that's in the back of your mind, or it's in the corner of the room. You talk about it like you're going to make – we have no perfect players, right? None of our guys are perfect players or to the edge of where they can be. They can all get better. But I think you just have to make sure that you're always on the forefront of talking about it. It's okay. Like, look, we made a mistake. We reacted. That's the biggest thing, is don't make one mistake, two mistakes, right? So you got to figure out like your reaction to things, the click of moving into one phase to another, and then just keeping it at the front of their minds. You're going to make mistakes in possession. We're going to give the ball away. We're going to lose it. In defending shape, they're going to break our pressure at some point, right? It's how we react to that next thing. And if you can get them continually stacking those moments, and again, keeping it in the forefront, like every day in our team meeting before we go out to the session, we talk about those things. Here's where in the session today it's going to be hard, right? And where can you survive in these hard moments? And what are the solutions that we're going to come up with? We're going to give you ideas, but they also have to come up with solutions on the field as well. And so I think you can't hide from it. You have to continually talk about it and continually figure out solutions. I showed him a clip today of an old clip of Kobe Bryant that talked about failure, and he was on a BET interview. And he was like, failure doesn't exist. And he started talking through this whole thing. And it's like, his mindset is he thought of things, I should say, things from a tactical rather than an emotional standpoint. Like, and if you can start getting guys into that mindset, because if it's emotional, I make a mistake and it's emotional and it rises up in me, I'm going to be now scared to get to the next action. But if it's a tactical way of thinking or a clinical tactical way of thinking, then I think you can go from one action to the next with a little bit more confidence.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in 2026. Welcome to Greenville and all of the Greenville. Let's see, Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson. That's the TV market. So it's great to see what's going on there with you and Triumph. As always, we're going to be knocking on your door. Thanks for doing this little preview with us. Ready for 2026. Thanks for dropping by.
Appreciate it. Have a great day.